I'm David.
And I'm Brad.
And I'm Frank.
And I'm Alfonso.
And we're Virginia Trekkers. And we're here today at TFC Recycling in Chester, Virginia.
This is our first podcast in HD. Hope you enjoy it.
You might notice we're dressed a little bit differently. We've got our hard hats, eye protection, and ear protection. This place is loud and dirty.
So boys and girls, let's find out what happens to your recycling items when you put it out in the curb. Let's go recycling! We're going to do a podcast on all about recycling. Here we have a scale, a model of the plan itself on drawing, small, but as you're going to find out, this is a huge place and it does huge things. Remember these? That's right. It's all about recycling. So let's go find out a little bit more.
The people that work at this recycling facility call this a MRF. And the letters MRF stand for Materials Recovery Facility. A MRF is made up of many different parts. The red area is where all the materials are dropped off. The green area is where all the materials are sorted. And the blue area is where everything has been sorted and is ready to be shipped and sold. And the gray areas are all the conveyor belts that connect all of the sorting stations together at the facility.
Our first stop is where the materials are being dropped off. This recycling truck has just arrived to the plant, filled with recyclables from neighborhoods. This is where the recycling process begins.
Inside the recycling factory. Look behind me. The truck's coming in with some recycling material. What they're going to do is load it up right here, push it down into this little pit. What's going to happen is once it's down to this pit, a conveyor belt is going to move just like a machine and take all this recycling up to a different level of the plant. So check out this truck. Wait. And this is where the sorting of all your recycling materials begins. Alright, right here it's called a screen. This is where they're going to separate the light paper stuff from the heavy bottles and cans. You can see how the paper is going up, and then the heavy stuff is going to go down.
Next stop, the paper sorting area.
The 3 lanes you see behind me, they're sorting the different types of paper. What they're looking for is they want only newspaper once it gets past this assembly line.
Here I am to try to sort out some of the recyclables. Anything that's brown, we don't want on the conveyor belt. So I'm going to drop it into the chute. Anything that's plastic, I'm going to take out and put it into a trash can. I have to be fast. So wish me luck.
Let's see what happens to the paper after it's been sorted.
Hey boys and girls, this is the final step for the recycled newspaper. What's happening is after the paper's all been sorted out, on this conveyor belt, dropped into a nice big pile right down here, ready to be shipped out. Alright, you're seeing the paper fall down from the belt up top where it's been sorted for its final time. There's a pile here, and then you'll see the skid steer over here, this machine, where it's just taking big piles of paper and shoving them onto a semi-truck. All the paper that you're seeing here is going to be sent to the southeastern part of the United States, like Georgia, and turned back into paper products that you buy every day and use in your classroom every day.
Now let's find out what happens to that special kind of paper. Boys and girls, we've taken you through the process of recycling the papers, but recycling has to be done differently for different kinds of paper.
For example, just like Alfonso was saying, this is all brown paper that has been recycled and it's being packaged together to ship out. They have to separate it because it looks different and it's used for different reasons. He's going to tell you about some more paper on the other side.
Over here on this side, we have what we call photo paper, the kind that you take pictures on. This has to be done separately because it's going to be shipped to a different place, usually for companies that need it for more photo paper. And then the third type is what we call a double-sided paper, a brown and a laminate. And that's where this side comes in. That will be shipped to a different place that handles that kind of paper.
The white paper you see on the outside of this roll cannot be bundled with the brown paper that's inside the roll. So what they're doing is they're using a simple machine, a wedge here, and a whole lot of force to split the paper so they can bale the white paper and the brown paper separately.
Now that we have all the paper sorted, let's move on to the aluminum cans and plastic bottles. Right behind me, we have a second type of screen. On this particular screen, you can see how it's angled. It's angled upward and it's done an angle to the side. What's happening is it's making the heavy objects, like the glass bottles, go down, and the fans are blowing on the paper, keeping the paper on the teeth, and the teeth are able to bring the paper upward. And now, the separation of the glass and the paper are taking place.
Let's go see what tools they use to sort the metal cans.
This is another example of a magnet. What this one's doing is looking strictly for steel products. What's going to happen is the products go underneath. If they are not made of steel, they are going to drop. If they are made of steel, they're going to be picked up and taken to a separate container.
Our next stop is one of the loudest places in the facility. Let's head over to the glass crusher.
Alright, this is a very loud place because it's breaking glass inside this machine. What that machine does is it crushes the glass and then it goes outside and they use the glass to make concrete and asphalt.
Brad showed us that they use magnets to sort metal cans. How do they sort the aluminum cans? Let's find out.
Alright, we're now in a different part of the recycling facility here, and what we're doing now is we're going to sort the aluminum cans from all the other materials. Aluminum is not magnetic, so you can't use a magnet to sort it. So what they're using is something really cool, and this belt has a charge on it, and it reacts with the metals that are in aluminum, and it flings the can over the top of one bin and throws it into a separate bin just for aluminum cans. Once the aluminum cans have been separated into their bin, they're sucked up this tube right here and put into the hopper right here where they're baled and ready for shipment.
Now that all the cans have been sorted, let's see how they're packaged.
Every single thing in this recycle plant gets baled except for the loose newspapers that you saw. Check out all these cans. They've all been baled together and they came out already wrapped. Really, really tight so nothing flies out.
Brad and Alfonso have already showed you bales of materials that have been sorted. Let's go see how a baler actually works.
They take all that cardboard and brown paper, they squash it real tight in this machine, they wrap it up with wire, and then it pops out right here.
Well, that concludes our tour of the plant. Let's go outside and see what the finished products look like.
We're now outside, and you can see that all of these detergents have been sorted out. They came in together on one truck, and now they've been sorted out and stacked nice and neat, ready to be shipped off. And I'm standing here in front of all the milk jugs that came in from the very beginning of the plant.
And I'm standing over here by the steel cans. Hey, I think that's the can of corn I opened up last night. Cool.
And this is the hugest pile. This is the pile of plastic soda cans and water bottles. So make sure you recycle those, boys and girls. The people in charge of this whole recycling center told us how you could help them. If you have a water bottle or a soda bottle, if you would please remove the cap and just reuse that as like a game piece, and then just recycle the bottle. That would be very helpful to them, and they would really appreciate it.
Before we end this video, let's talk about what happens to the products once they're baled, sold, and shipped. Cardboard collected here at TFC is exported to China, meaning shipped out. And then it's imported back from China as cardboard, but it holds the products that we buy at the store, like Xboxes, clothes, and electronics.
The paper that is collected by TFC is transported by truck to Georgia, where it is used to make the paper you may be using in your classroom right now.
The aluminum cans are transported to Kentucky, where they are turned into new aluminum cans that hold products that we buy here in Virginia.
Well, that's our stop, boys and girls. Hope you enjoyed your tour of TFC Recycling.
And I hope you learned a lot about the whole recycling process.
And hopefully our trip has motivated you to start a recycling program in your neighborhood and at your school.
So don't forget to reduce, reuse, recycle. Well, boys and girls, I'm going to take this recycling truck. You look for one in your neighborhood.